I'm gonna do this video for Reggie Haynes in Africa, and mind you, this video isn't degrading anyone in Africa or anything. This is actually a global video because whether I've been in Canada, America, the UK, Africa, I deal with the same type of people. Like my elders tell me all the time, it's like, Reggie, seems to me the only thing that's different between people over here in the States and people around the world is the accent and the way that they look. And I say, you're absolutely right. I don't want anyone to end up being like me. I don't want anyone continuing to be a giver to nothing but takers, and then those takers end up leading you to be broke or leading you to be broken. I would never want anyone to end up like me. I have tons of stories of tons of people who claim themselves as being African empowered and real people and famous and rich and all that shit, and they are the bummiest people I've ever met. Damn near every single day I have females and males in my DM asking me for money, knowing that they're never going to pay it back. From the top of my head, since I've been overseas, I've had, I think, less than 4 people who have I've loaned money to, and then they would end up paying me back on time. Well, none of them paid me back on time, but 4 people have paid me back when they're supposed to. Another thing about takers, you got to remember too, majority, if not all takers, they never give when they're supposed to, or never give at all. So these are just sure signs, because I'm a one-time or one-chance type of guy. So there's been situations to where I found out that I'm surrounded by a lot of people who try to undervalue me. And what I mean by that is there have been tons of situations to where I would have, I would end up giving people stuff out of my, out of the kindness of my heart. Like, it'll be raining, I'll let them use a jacket or a hat. Next thing you know, they end up taking my stuff, never giving it back. I'm always like, hey, you said you're going to give it back today, whatever. Oh, Reggie, I'm tired. Oh, Reggie, it's a long walk. Oh, Reggie, I can't get over there. I don't got no transportation. Can you pay for my transport? Can you come to me? And I'm like, no, you can get your bumming ass transport just like you be doing with other people. And, come to me and bring me back something that I lended you out of the kindness of my heart to protect you from getting sick or whatever. Then I find out that a lot of people, I found this out from sources, and they showed me proof. There have been people who have stole from me. There have been people who have basically had this plan all along, and they end up selling my shit. So I'm surrounded by people who are selling my shit, trying to undervalue me. I don't know who you are. Oh, actually I do. And then they end up making more profit than the goddamn thing is actually worth. That's happened with my collectible action figures. That's happened with my cameras. That's happened with my equipment. That's happened with my clothes. I was given a lot of these things by, well-known people. And these were gifts from these people, and they take them and they end up, selling them. You know what I'm saying? So I deal with stuff like that all the time, or I have. But then I have to realize that the moral of this story is don't end up like me. Don't end up giving to people, because you already know that when you give to particular people who are nothing but takers, you're never going to get it back. And they're going to continue to feed into a problem that shouldn't exist to begin with. And what is that problem? The problem is them being in a situation to where they don't appreciate, and they're always going to flush whatever you gave them right down the toilet, because that's what bums, that's what fiends, and that's what inhumane cowardice takers do. Don't end up like me, giving to takers, because when I was growing up, my people always told me, you better not ever be no bum. You better not ever be a person who's begging. The culture in a lot of places where I've been to overseas is begging. A lot of people beg, and they don't realize how phenomenal their surroundings are around them. They don't realize how rich their resources are. They don't. And it really saddens me that we live in a world like this. It really saddens me. And I had a quote the other day, and I posted it, that the most phenomenal people in the world have been manipulated and deceived by the manipulators, and they are looking at the manipulators as saviors. Don't end up like me. Don't end up broken. And please do not give to takers, because you're never going to get it back. And another thing is too, don't be a taker yourself. Don't be a beggar, because you already know the old saying, it ain't just beggars can't be choosers. Beggars will always be losers.